Hello fellow Clashers, I'm KairosTime and it is time to clash. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Unity deck that specializes in single point damage. I'm going to do a deck breakdown, go over a couple of the replays that got me to this point, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into the final match. Hope you enjoy. Okay guys, so this is the deck that I was able to get to 11 wins with 0 losses. It does have a free-to-play version of the deck. We have the Mega Knight that you can switch out for the PEKKA. If you do make that change, you're going to want to switch out the Inferno dragon for the baby dragon as well. Now, if you do not have the Bandit, you can switch out the Bandit for the Hog Rider. If you do that, you'll want to switch out the Elixir Collector for the Fireball. And then the Electro Wizard, if you do not have the Electro Wizard, but you have all of these other cards, with the exception of the Bandit, then you'll want to switch out the Electro Wizard for the for the Fireball. But if you do not have the Bandit and you switch out for the Hog Rider Fireball combination, then you'll want to switch out the Electro Wizard for the minions. Hope that made sense. But this deck itself is a really strong deck. Now, this is the part of the video where we go into a deck breakdown. I consider myself a pro when it comes to building decks to counter specific metas. In fact, I even wrote the guide on how to build the best decks, no matter what the meta is. If you haven't seen that, you'll want to check it out in my strategy guide to Clash Royale episodes. Now, this deck is super strong. It is considered a Unity deck. If you don't know what a Unity deck is, you'll want to check out my strategy guide to Clash Royale videos. But it is a Unity deck in the fact that it specializes on single point damage. You have all of these cards right here that all do single point damage. I know the Electro Wizard is kind of like a hybrid. He kind of does some splash. He also does kind of some single point damage. But these cards are single point damage cards. And then you have 1 or 2 cards that help cover the weakness, and that one card here is the Mega Knight or the Zap as well. Now we do have the Elixir Collector here to really help just kind of cover your weaknesses, really put some pressure onto your opponent if they cannot get rid of that Elixir Collector, and that's really strong. Some of the best pushes here in this deck will just include a Bandit and Inferno Dragon, which are both single point damage troops, and then you also have the Zap in there as well. You could possibly switch out the Zap for the Log, but I feel like in this meta the Zap gets a little bit more value, especially when you see some more bats and stuff. We have Goblin Gang, the Knight for defense, and then you have the Electro Wizard, which is such a versatile card. Can fit into almost any type of situation, any type of deck. He's definitely a great one to purchase as your first legendary if you have that opportunity to do so. Now, the Mega Knight plays an important role on defense. In this meta, we actually see a lot of PEKKA Hog Rider decks. Those are probably the two most common. Those two together are really popular, but also you see those cards a lot, very frequently. You have the Mega Knight to counter Hog Riders, as well as the Electro Wizard and the Goblin Gang to get rid of those Hog Riders. And then we also do have the Inferno Dragon and Electro Wizard, or just to keep the PEKKA at bay. You have the Inferno Dragon to counter the PEKKA, as well as the Goblin Gang. Yeah, so that's it for the deck breakdown. If you do have any questions about why I built this deck specifically, then make sure you drop a link in the drop a question in the comment section below. We're gonna be taking a look at, first of all, against a Lava Loon deck. Now, when I am building decks like this, they're Unity decks. A lot of people ask, "Oh, it looks really weak to Lava Loon." That's a really great, you know. That's obviously, I mean, a lot of people think that, but the thing with Lava Loon is it is also a Unity deck, meaning that it focuses on having mostly air cards with 1 or 2 cards to help cover its weaknesses, which is weak against ground threats. Mine is more focused on ground threats than anything, or you can also consider a single target Unity deck. But here I see he puts down a Lava Loon. I place down this Elixir Collector. Now when you're playing a Unity deck against another Unity deck, like this situation right here, the whole goal is to out-utility your opponent. If you don't know what I mean by that, then you'll definitely want to check out my strategy guide to Clash Royale videos, because I go into that a lot more in depth. But what we've got going on right here is I need to out-utility my opponent's air threats with my ground threats. There was a really close situation right there where I was able to just stop that balloon just barely. I wasn't sure if it was going to fix it or not. Now I'm paying attention to his ground threat, or his ground threat counters. He has the Tombstone and he has the Goblin Gang. Now I have 2 counters to air troops, and that is my Inferno Dragon and my EWiz. So how we play is going to be all about taking advantage of each other's weaknesses, where I'm weak to his Tombstone and his Goblin Gang, and him being weak to my EWiz and my Inferno Dragon. Now there I actually place an Inferno Dragon in the very far back. That's actually not the greatest move, but I wanted to add a little bit of, the reason why is because it's not the greatest move if your opponent does have enough elixir to put down a Lava Hound down the other lane. I knew he did not, and I knew I was going to be able to put that there, and then he had a great opportunity to put his Lava Hound in the other lane, but I placed down this Mega Knight right here. And the reason why I placed this Mega Knight here is because it forces him, he knows if he puts down a Lava Loon, there's no way he's stopping that push. Or Lava Hound, if he puts down a Lava Hound, I keep on saying that. He knows that there's no way he can stop my push. I am out-utilitying him. I know, right? That's out-utilitying. I gotta come up with a better word for it. If you think of something, let me know in the comment section. But I'm forcing him to counter me first, and that puts me at an advantage. So we go ahead and do this right here. I put down my EWiz and my Mega Minion, or my Inferno Dragon, to try and help support this Mega Knight. Now he's able to get rid of basically everything right here, but I know that he's going to die. He does land 1 hit onto the tower, and that leaves me with plenty to push and get this tower taken out, because I went on the offense and I forced him to defend rather than placing down that Lava Hound first. At this point, I'm thinking maybe I can get to the tower and finish it off. He has Lightning, which just countered that push so great. I put down the EWiz before I knew that that was going to happen, which was a little too late. So here I put down a Bandit, and he ends up placing down the Tombstone just a little bit late. I put down my Goblin Gang in the middle right there to try and counter that Tombstone if he did that. Now at this situation, I end up placing down the Mega Knight because he's played the Goblin Gang and the Tombstone to counter my previous push. So I know he has nothing to stop this Mega Knight. At this point, I've gotten 2 towers down. There's not enough time for him to catch up. I have successfully made it so that he can't do anything to try and stop my push. I end up placing down the EWiz and the Zap to try and finish off some of those splash troops, but it doesn't even matter. The balloon's not able to get to the tower, and there's no time for him to catch up. That is how you play a Unity deck against another Unity deck. A lot of times it comes down to who does the offense first, and who pays attention to each other's counters a little bit better. So I wanted to show that to you. We'll go ahead and watch as well this match right here. So this was a match, this was my 11th win, and he really put me into some tough situations. I have the perfect opening hand right here with this Elixir Collector. I don't know that he has Lightning, so obviously it makes sense. We'll put down the Elixir Collector. That's a solid move. Place that down, and he puts down the Princess, and it's interesting, rather than just putting down the Lightning immediately, he puts down an Ice Golem. Now he does this because he wants to try and get rid of my Elixir Collector as well as whatever I defend against, and that was very smart. I'm really lucky actually that I ended up defending using the Mega Knight, because now he has very little Elixir to be able to even stop this, and my Mega Knight's able to lock him in the tower. I end up zapping his Inferno Dragon to try and get a little bit more damage. I probably did it a little bit too soon, but I'm not convinced that the Mega Knight would have gotten one more hit if I had prolonged that zap in there. So here I place down this EWiz to try and stop this Inferno Dragon. He does do some damage onto my tower. That's not a really big deal. So I place down this this Bandit. He puts down a Bandit, and we kind of have this little quick interaction. Not sure exactly what's going to happen, but his Bandit ends up taking out my EWiz. Now at this point, I actually am thinking, okay, do I stop this Bandit? If I do, I know that it's gonna have to be with the Knight, right? So I had placed down the Knight, and that would force him to then counter push, and that means that I'm not going to be able to put down my Elixir Collector. So rather than defending against that Bandit, I actually end up placing down this Elixir Collector. I take some hits from the Bandit. I know that I'm ahead of him when it comes to damage on towers, and I want to try and keep my advantage. So I place down this Elixir Collector. He decides to lightning it, which I'm actually fine with. I at this point, I'm when he costs 6 elixir to place down an elixir collector and the lightning, but my elixir collector does produce 1, so I end up sacrificing that 300 to 400 damage that lightning does to the tower in for 1 additional elixir. Puts me in a good situation right here. I end up placing on this Electro Wizard because of that Inferno Dragon. The Princess locks onto my Electro Wizard, which I really wish that it didn't, but she did. And here I've got quite a big push right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take the tower. Now, we take this tower here. Things are looking really great for me, actually. I end up, I'm trying to go for the whole win, but he does a great job right here and just goes on the offense. He knows that he's really got to apply some pressure, and he's calculated his defense with that princess and knows that his tower is not going to get 3 crown. So now I'm in kind of a difficult situation where he's playing really well. He's out-cycling my counters, and he plays his Hog Rider every time before I'm able to get enough elixir to place down my my Mega Knight. I keep on saying Mega Minion. He puts it down every time before I have enough elixir to counter him. Because the Mega Knight is such a great counter to the Hog Rider, he's playing this super smart and makes it so that I can't just hard counter his Hog Rider. Super smart gameplay. He ends up using the lightning to finish off my tower, and at this point, I'm looking at the hit points of all of our towers, and I'm like, oh shoot, I don't have a spell, a high damage spell to try and finish off his crown tower, and he has the advantage as far as the other tower goes, so I'm really going to have to focus on always having something to counter a Hog Rider if he does end up doing something like, or puts that Hog Rider in the very middle. He ends up, I'm ready with my Electro Wizard just in case he puts down that Hog Rider. He puts it down when I have enough elixir to put down my Mega Knight, so I place that down. That's 4 elixir down the drain for him, and I have a push coming down right here. I'm imagining that he's going to be doing something to try and come in the middle, so I'm ready with my Bandit, I'm ready with my Knight in the very far back, but there my Mega Knight and my push is able to just finish off the tower. Super close match. He played incredibly well. Definitely deserves some points for that. Hopefully you enjoyed that breakdown, because that was a match where I thought that I had a massive advantage at the very beginning, and I did, but he really played around it. Love seeing matches like that, I really do. Really fun to play them as well. So now we're gonna go ahead and jump into this last match. So let's make sure I have the right deck selected. I've done that on videos where I'll select their own deck and then I'll lose it, and I'm like, ah. But let's go ahead and jump in here. I got my tablet, pick that up here so I can focus, right? I've been known to make some mistakes that I normally don't when I'm recording, because the pressure's hot. The pressure's hot. He's saying good luck. I'll say good luck back to him as well. We'll go ahead and just wait. One of the big things you always want to practice is just waiting for your opponent to make the first move. That's one of the best things that you can do. He puts down that Goblin Barrel in that position. I want to wait to see what he does. He ends up putting that Princess back there. We'll put this Knight right here. I'd like to get cycled back to the Elixir Collector. And let's see here. Okay, he's going to go ahead and put down the rocket, and I'm just going to go ahead and put down this Elixir Collector right there. He's put down the rocket, and I'm in a good situation, actually. We'll let him do whatever he can to try and stop that. We'll go ahead and zap that, and he's going to go on the offense. Very great defense on his part. I'm actually kind of worried about this matchup. It should be good, though. It should be good. Now that I've got this this pump set up right here, then I'm not too concerned. He did have to use that Goblin Barrel defensively, in the fact that he had to use it on my Elixir Collector. I know, defensively? What? That doesn't make sense. No, that's what I would say. I'd call that a defensive Goblin Barrel. Because he's preventing something from happening too much in the future. I'd like him to play something. He's not going to. Okay, let's see here. Where's your rocket? Okay, he's got the rocket. I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that and go on the offense. Goblin Gang, Goblin Gang. There's the Goblin Gang. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, very good. Whew! My face is hot. Nervous a little bit. That's okay. So we're in a good situation right now. I need to just focus on defending against his Goblin Barrel. One thing that I do want to, let's see here. We'll go ahead and put this Goblin Gang right there. I'm out of rotation. That was a good offense on his part. Let's see if we can keep this pressure up. If I can keep him spending his rockets onto my elixir collector, that puts me in a good situation. At least it helps me apply some pressure right here. Let's go ahead and see what he does. We'll put this Mega Knight right here. Okay, there we go. We want to do some single point damage onto, add some single point damage with that elixir or that Electro Wizard. So that we can, you know, try and stop that knight. There, the Mega Knight lands onto the tower, and I think this is GG, guys. This is gonna be it. There we go. We got the Bandit and the Mega Knight landing on tower. Woo! That was a good match. That was a very good match. I'm excited to try this deck out a little bit more. Maybe jump into some grand challenges. See how far it can take me. I'd really like to be able to farm some gold. But there is the 12-0 with this deck. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm gonna go ahead and take a screenshot of that. We'll go ahead and wait for this confetti to stop dropping. There we go. I'll take another screenshot. Nice clean screenshot, right? Open up this chest here. We got some gold, some barbarians. Love getting goblins. Know that they're maxed out. Then I just get gold from them. And we got a PEKKA. Very good. Love the sheep PEKKA. So once again, here's the deck, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about these deck breakdowns. I like doing these because I feel like I have a different take on deck building than a lot of people do. Like I said, I feel I've written the book, I've written the guide on how to build the best decks in the game, and it works no matter what the meta is. Make sure you check out that video if you haven't already. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in the arena.